Just a little background as to how we got to this point with the Stewarts. One day I got an email, and it's from Lloyd, saying, "I'm looking for these people. I don't know where they are buried. I think they're buried in Washington County." And I said, "Give me the names." So he sent me the names, and I looked at them and I said, "I think they're buried here." So he came up to visit with me, and we toured the African grounds, and we toured the Revolutionary War Cemetery. And he said, "Yep, Van Rankin's, the Burks, said, those are mine." Sadly, over the years, this whole area, which is the African grounds, the poor lot, and what we would call the traveler's lot, have been sort of neglected. In Victorian times, some of these things, as you can tell now, were outside of the cemetery proper. That was the thinking back then. We don't think that way anymore, fortunately. But we looked at this, and Lloyd brought in some ground penetrating equipment, hired a crew to come in to see if we could find any more graves in this area. Unfortunately, we did not, but we found 2 stones that were buried in the ground, and those were taken up and reset, and you'll see them if you want to walk down there, that there are 2 gravestones that we did find. Unfortunately, over the years, in cemeteries, sometimes if a stone gets broken, and it happens not only here, but up here, whoever's mowing the lawn says, "What do I want this for?" And it goes over the bank. So stones have been lost. We saw the same thing in the Revolutionary War Cemetery. But from this, Lloyd felt that he wanted to do a genealogy study on his family. So he took the information that he found here and has written 2 books, which he had hoped to bring with him. And when he got out of the car this morning, he said, "I forgot the books." Oh. So we were hoping that we would have some books that people could purchase from him. At any rate, the great books, all you had to do is get on the internet, type in L. Lloyd Stewart, and his works will come up. It was a revelation for me to work with Lloyd, because even as historian, I did not know much about this cemetery at all. And again, the sad part is, as happens in cemeteries, whoever is in charge, they either do a good job or they do a terrible job. So cemetery records are not as complete as we would like them to be. Case in point, my own son is looking for a lot here in the cemetery, and the person in charge is saying, "Well, we've got some empty space, but we don't know if anybody's buried there." Oh. Because there are no tombstones, and the records aren't that great. So now they got to go around with, the rod system. You punch a rod in the ground to see what you could find. But that's typical, not only of old cemeteries, but even today. We hear horror stories about cemeteries that have been neglected and weird things are done. But over the years, they have tried to maintain it somewhat. A new sign here pointing out the grounds. Ken Flagg, Judy's husband, did a new sign, because when Judy tried to straighten it up, it fell apart on her hands. So Ken made up a whole new sign for the cemetery. But the road down through, I'd rather we not drive. It's a difficult path to get down in there. But if you want to walk down there, fine, that's okay.